to this video. My name is Christopher Hole from christopherhole.com, and what we're going to be talking about in this video is lordosis and one of its causes and how we can overcome it. Now, the cause of lordosis is normally centered around the hips, in that we have tight hip flexors, weak abdominals and weak glutes. Now in this video we're going to explore a little deeper or a little further into the condition of lordosis. But first of all, I just want to explain what it is. For the people who might not know what it is already, I just want to quickly explain. If we look at this picture on the left hand side, we have a natural curve of the spine. Now in this position, your spine has a curve of the lumbar spine, a curve of the thoracic spine, and then a curve of the cervical spine, which is up in the neck. Now the lumbar and the cervical spine curves, they're known as lordotic curves. The curve of the thoracic spine, which is sort of the upper back, is known as a kyphotic curve. Now when the curve of the lumbar spine becomes exaggerated, it gets known as lordosis or hyperlordosis. And if we look at this picture here, just on the right hand side, you can see the exaggerated curvature of the lumbar spine. Now this is what lordosis will look like. Now what happens is, like I mentioned, most people stay focused on the hips and they try and sort of stretch out their hip flexors and try and strengthen up their glutes and their abs to correct their lordosis. But like I said, we're going to explore a little bit further into this. Now, one thing I also want to mention is correct posture. Now, in correct posture, what we have is this plumb line. Now, for correct posture to be present, what we need is the ear, the shoulder, the hips, the knee and the ankle all to be following this plumb line. Now as you can see in this picture on the right hand side, they don't follow this plumb line. Now the reason our body follows this plumb line is because of the center of gravity, which is down here, which is below the pelvis and the hips. Now what this center of gravity does, it keeps us upright. Now what can happen if we get an exaggerated curvature of the spine, let's say lordosis? What your body wants to do is maintain the center of gravity to keep you upright. So what it can do is it can exaggerate other areas of the spine to maintain center of gravity underneath the hips. Now this can work one of two ways. Either we can get exaggerated curvature of the lumbar spine, which will then cause the spine to sort of bow backwards and we'll start leaning backwards. So to compensate, what our body does is it exaggerates the curvature of the thoracic spine to bring the head and shoulders forward to try and maintain central gravity under the hips. Now, like I said, it can work one of two ways. Either the problem can stem from the hips doing it, or it can stem from the shoulders doing it. So what we can have here is a exaggerated curvature of the thoracic spine or kyphosis that is causing the exaggerated curvature of the lumbar spine to maintain center of gravity. Because again, what our body wants to do is it's got to keep these curvatures in balance. So if one becomes exaggerated, the other has to maintain center of gravity under the hips. Okay, so what we can start to think about is not just stretching out the hips, strengthening the glutes and strengthening the abs. We can also start to explore and look at the shoulders. So we might want to start strengthening the back muscles, stretching the chest muscles, bringing the head back in line so the ears match and come and follow the plumb line from the ears, shoulders, hips, knees and ankles. Okay, so it's not just about focusing on the hips, it's about focusing on the whole body and all of the joints, and are they following this plumb line? If we can get into a position where they do follow the plumb line, then we're going to start to remove the excessive curvature of the lumbar spine. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. If you want to explore any more, if you're on YouTube, click in the link below, come to the website. There's more videos on lordosis, how we can go about correcting it and different causes. If you're on the blog already, click on some of the hyperlinks and you'll be able to go through to other blogs and articles regarding lordosis. Again, more causes, so what might be happening in your body to cause lordosis, and also other ways of correcting it. Okay, so my name's Christopher Hole from christopherhole.com. Thanks for listening. I will speak to you soon.